Welcome, painters. We are going to be working on a Starry Night picture today. You actually need every color of the rainbow, including your neutrals, your brown, black, and white. Anytime I am mixing a lot of paint, I like to make sure that I've got a large space of white and a small space of white, so I always have clean white. We are making Starry Night, so you're going to need a lot of blue. We're going to be mixing blue, so give yourself a decent amount of blue, and you might even want an extra tray just for mixing. We're going to use 3 brushes. We're going to use a flat brush and then 2 different sizes of round brushes. We want to make sure we have a lot of brush strokes in our work of art. Vincent van Gogh used so much paint, and all of his artwork, you just can see every single brush stroke on it. So that's what we're going to focus on, 3 brushes. Make sure you have yourself a rag. I like to use rags instead of water because I like my pictures to have some mixing going on in them. What we're going to do in the first step is we're going to lay out the picture. So we're going to draw with our itty bitty brush, the smallest one you have. We are simply going to draw the major spaces. So using a blue, and you don't have to mix anything right now because this is just going to be our background. Using a blue, we are going to create a hill. We are going to start at the halfway point on our picture, and we are going to bring it down to about 2 inches from the left side. So what that's going to look like, I want you to watch before you do it, is you're going to start here, and you are going to create a hill, and it's going to slope down a little bit and then level out a little bit and slope down a little bit. Okay, now this paint line does not have to be full. I kind of ran out of paint towards the end. I can still see the line, and that's the most important thing. So just don't go back and try to fill it in. This is just a background. I am going to make another line just underneath here. And it's going to be just about halfway between here and the base. And I'm going to make another hilly line. So right now we have our hills already laid out for our Starry Night picture. In Starry Night, Van Gogh has a gigantic cypress tree right here. That's the next thing we're going to lay out. I'm not going to wash my brush out because, again, this is just a background. This is just our drawing. And Van Gogh's Starry Night, the cypress tree, goes all the way to the top, and it's a bit of a wavy line down. And it gets pretty fat at the bottom, but right now we're just going to make the centerpiece. So right now we just have this one wavy, funky line in there. Remember, you guys can pause this as you need to. But then there's also a piece that kind of pops out right here and goes on in there. There's one other little part that jets out, and it goes right about here. So again, these are just our background shapes. We're going to be adding more detail to them in a little bit. We just want to have this basic idea down. Now this time I am going to wipe my brush off really well. Really well, wiped it off. I did not use water, but I am going to use yellow, and I'm going to make a gigantic yellow circle up here in the sky. Yes, there might be a little bit of green mixed in, but that's okay. If you've ever looked at the real Starry Night, there's green in his sun because he had his sky blue and it added that yellow sun, and all of a sudden he had green. Now this next part, I'm actually going to take my easel off, my canvas off of my easel, and I'm going to turn it straight up and down. So my sun is up at the top. I know it's kind of weird, you got to trust me here. I teach little people how to do this painting. I can definitely teach old people how to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create letter S's. I'm going to use my paintbrush and I'm going to use purple paint. And this first letter S is going to start below the sun, but kind of up towards the top of the page. And I'm going to make this letter S very long and skinny. And it's going to go behind my cypress tree, and it's going to go off the page or off the canvas. See that? My second letter S, I'm going to actually start it inside of this swirl, and I'm going to pull it up, make my letter S right there. So do you see how both of those resemble the letter S? When I turn my picture back, I realize I now have the two major swirls in Starry Night. Now I want you to stop the video. Well, actually, I'm going to stop the video. You don't have a choice. I get to choose. I want you to work on making sure you have these spaces marked out. These are the most important iconic spaces of your Starry Night picture. And while we're going to fatten up a lot of these spaces when we add paint to them, I want you to make sure that you have them where you like them. At this point, you can still use a wet rag and wipe off anything you don't love. So take your time, finish that, and meet me here in a little bit for part 2 of Starry Night.